Discussing the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium. There's a new trailer that dropped a couple days ago. And we see a lot more Kang here. Jonathan Majors is really whooping the shit out of Paul Rudd. You see that? I mean, he's like...
The entire time I see Kang the Conqueror beating the shit out of Paul Rudd in this trailer, I just think of that thing from Everybody Hates Chris where Terry Crews is just holding the bat, just staring at him. You think I'm playing?
I mean, the drip is pretty good though. I got it. Well, they got Jonathan Majors.
Kang is not here to fuck around.
He does look really good.
Entertainment Weekly, I think, released a promo picture of him just like sitting on his throne, and it looks like he's about to drop the hardest rap album of all time.
I mean, it looks really good. I mean, this is primarily why I'm really excited to see it. Is just because of
me and Janet don't talk no more.
But Hunter, you're the big comic book guy. I wanted to get your thoughts on the Ant-Man and Quantumanium trailer.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just pull it up here again real quick. So the big thing is that Kang is gonna win in some way, shape, or form, and that's what's so fascinating about it. Like this feels very much like it's gonna be kind of Infinity War esque on that front. So Jonathan Majors, we saw him of course in Loki playing He Who Remains, like the quote nice version of the Kang variants, and what I love about that is that you see just those little glimpses of that shittier version that's below the surface, and so seeing him in this, I'm so excited to see how he fucks over Paul Rudd, because it's gonna be kind of like Spider-Man Far From Home, like Mysterio's Mysterio. At some point that shoe's gotta drop. But to hear, him being like, "Oh, I can help give you back more time. You can get time back with your daughter," and what that consequence is going to be, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see Jonathan Major make kids cry. But I guess the first big swing I'll take, and Nick, you'll have to help me out here. The guy from The Good Place.
William Jackson Harper.
Yeah, so he's in the movie. That's been confirmed. That he got cast in a mystery role. So what's interesting is we haven't heard about him. We haven't seen him in any press or anything like that. So my theory is we know Reed Richards exists. We know the Fantastic Four is a thing. We saw John Krasinski's version of Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. I think that's who he's playing. Because the big interesting thing is why Kang needs Ant-Man's help. And to be honest, comic wise, I'm kind of curious about that too, how they're gonna explain why Kang needs Scott's help. But you could basically have the whole thing of Reed, that version of Fantastic Four, helping him trap him in that version of the quantum realm, which is why he's trying to escape. Because what's his daughter's name? Cassie, who's played by Captain Newton. She talks about how in the first trailer she created this whole beacon with someone. So if you think about the 5 years that Scott is gone, it couldn't have been Scott. What's his name?
It couldn't have been Hank.
Couldn't have been Hank or Janet.
It couldn't have been Janet.
Couldn't have been Hope. So then you're down to what? Maybe Lawrence Fishburne's Ben Foster. Maybe it was him. Maybe. So I mean that would make sense because we know how smart he is. But my theory is that's going to be a way they're going to introduce another major player into the MCU.
So it says here, I got this article up from Empire. It says William Jackson Harper. It says he's playing a character called Quaz. I think they say Quaz. It says, what do we know about Quaz? It says that he's a telepath. There's a picture of him here in the film. And he's going to be, he's here in the the picture. He's pictured here with Katie M. O'Brien as Gentora, a freedom fighter who's railing against injustice felt by the teeming communities living in the minuscule metropolis. So that's what it says that's what he's playing here. With William Jackson.
Damn it! Now I owe Doggett. Damn it! Now I owe Doggett $20.
Hey, I am standing by the Reed Richards theory. God damn it! Until I see the movie.
Yeah. Do either of you think that some people are saying that the trailer gives away way too much? It's basically just telling the entire movie. Do you think that?
No. Like,
shit.
His name's King Conqueror. You think he wouldn't screw Scott? Like
the trailer doesn't show us anything that we didn't already know just off the casting of Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, and Kang is here to fuck shit up. That is basically the only thing that's given away in the trailer. He is here to fuck shit up, and he can and will fuck up Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I'm actually pulling the trailer up right now.
Yeah, it's like what comes out first? Is it 3 or is it Ant-Man that comes out first this year?
Yeah,
I think Ant-Man's in February.
Yeah, the tickets are on sale now. By the way, February 17th. So
hot day.
Yeah, the second he's done with Paul Rudd, I'm expecting Kang to look at the screen and is like, "Yo, Michael B. Jordan, you next."
So you think Kang will survive? You think he'll pretty much win out in this movie?
I'll think a Kang survives this movie, not this Kang. Because that's kind of the cool thing about a villain like Kang, and just the casting of Jonathan Majors. You get an actor a character that has infinite different versions of that are featured in all of the comics, and an actor with the range of Jonathan Majors where he gets to play around with all of that.
Do you think somebody from the Ant-Man cast will die? Hank, Jan, Hope.
It's gonna be Hank.
Hank.
I think Hank's gonna die. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Nick? You think?
Oh, I think Hank Pym is not long for this world.
And what do you?
Especially because Janet was in the quantum realm for a long time, and look at Jonathan Majors.
And Michelle Pfeiffer still look good. She still look good. Michelle Pfeiffer is she's 70s.
I think Kang 100% fucked Janet a lot.
Michelle Pfeiffer is 64. So you think Hank is gonna die? Interesting stuff. So this whole thing about him it seems like he's going to be trying to get back that time that he missed with Cassie now that she's like a teenager. Who Cassie's played by a new actor now. Who's the new actor that's playing Cassie now?
New actor, Catherine Newton, who was in Detective Pikachu and was in one of my favorite horror slashers of the last couple of years, Freaky.
Yeah, she was in that. So it seems like he's going to be trying to reclaim that time with her. Do you think that's a good kind of set up there, wanting to try to just go back those 5 years? It seems like those 5 years, did you really miss that much? Seems like that's kind of the worst time, it's like, did you really miss?
Just 5 years of your child's life just being a parent, I get it.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where that's an actual intriguing
that's an intriguing internal conflict that you can play with. One that I think is going to have a lot of real life parallels to people in the military. We go away for months at a time, sometimes years. A lot of guys I know miss years of their kids' lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back home, and sometimes the kid is black. So this happens sometimes. It happens.
Goddamn. Cold-blooded, but no, it's one of those things that the temptation of that is such a very human thing that you would have to think about. Because if you lost 5 years with someone that you cared about, if I lost 5 years for my partner, I could get that back. Oh my god, I would totally think about it. So from Scott's perspective, it's a much more intriguing version of what Mephisto offers Spider-Man. That's why it actually is such an intriguing kind of okay, like maybe I would do that. And what's cool,
and just the fact that Scott does have a criminal history, it's like more interesting because he'd actually consider it versus a character like a Sam Wilson or a Steve Rogers who would say no just straight away.
Yeah, and you see Cassie in this trailer. She's coming out of like a jail cell. You see that in this trailer.
Yeah. So yeah, my theory is that while Scott maybe was blipped, she was kind of getting into similar stuff that Scott was doing, which would kind of warrant her being, in jail for a certain amount of time. And that's a nice, easy parallel you can draw between the two of them. Because it does feel like Scott is kind of going a bit Tony Starkish in the sense that he's very much enjoying his newfound celebrity. We know from Miss Marvel that he has a very successful podcast too. So Scott probably has an actual media presence that maybe he's just not used to.
He's employee of the century at Baskin Robbins.
Yeah. And also like a best-selling author too. Best-selling author.
Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Damn funny.
What do you all think about MODOK?
It's fine.
I'm so excited because
I'm excited for a better version of MODOK than the Patton Oswalt one.
Well, I'm excited for MODOK.
By default, it's gonna be better.
Well, like MODOK has ties to the X-Men and to the Avengers. Like MODOK has been a villain in Marvel for decades, and looking at the shot of MODOK, I love how people were like, "Oh, it looks so weird." I'm like, it's a floating fucking head. It's supposed to look weird.
MODOK is supposed to look weird. That's his entire character.
But the fact that that's Corey Stoll, who played Yellow Jacket in the original Ant-Man, so the fact that he, because if you remember from how he's defeated in the first Ant-Man, how the suit breaks down the suit breaks down all around him, and he is presumably transported into the quantum realm. So the whole concept that he's working for Kang, the concept of what he could be potentially getting back, that's actually a really intriguing concept as well. I hope MODOK's not one and done because he is such a fun X-Men villain. Hopefully they find a way to keep him around. But the bigger component with MODOK is that he could be leading to AIM, which has ties to Justin Hammer. Potentially
which has ties to fucking Armor Wars and even New World Order, which is coming out later.
Yeah, because we remember Sharon Carter was talking to someone on the phone about being on the ground floor for all these new military secrets, making AIM, a big military component player.
All of a sudden they come back and start being a major player in the MCU.
Yeah.
All right, so Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania coming out February 17th. You can get your tickets now. I'm going to be getting my tickets after this. So yeah.
It's like, no, what it should be called, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Kang ain't fucking around.
So, yeah, that was Ant-Man.